Is your town flooded with tourists? Do you see them everywhere you go? Are there just too many tourists? For popular travel destinations, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. These destinations include Barcelona, Kyoto, Santorini, and Venice, just to name a few. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at what is known as over-tourism, one of the many debates that exist in society today. Like, should there be more gun control? Should abortion be legal? Should we restrict immigration? Are all Slytherins evil? And should we invade Wakanda? Anyway, first of all, what is over-tourism? Over-tourism is when an overwhelming amount of people flood an area that does not have the infrastructure to handle that amount of people. When this happens, it can significantly impact both the locals and the tourists. This negative experience is mostly due to three reasons. Reason number one, overcrowding. Let's be honest, if you're visiting a popular tourist attraction, you wouldn't want to spend 2 hours waiting in line doing nothing. Or, as a local, you wouldn't want your streets packed with people who don't even live here interrupting with your daily life. This happens a lot, but is especially a problem in small islands. For example, many tourists visiting the islands of the South Pacific have washed their sunscreens into the water, and that caused damage to the coral reefs underwater, and that isn't good because coral reefs are extremely important to our economy, our climate, and our planet's biodiversity. Reason number three, loss of culture. Take Barcelona, for example. They have a population of 1.6 million, but are receiving 32 million tourists per year. If the number of tourists in an area exceeds the number of locals, then how is that place going to have any culture? Also, some tourists don't respect local culture, which is why you might find things like littering and vandalism. Okay, so now you understand why over-tourism is such a problem. Now let's talk about what countries have been doing to combat it. There are of course many ways, but we will cover two of them in this video. Method number one. You guessed it, taxes. Well, one of the main reasons why there's so many tourists is that people can't travel during COVID, but now they can. They're kind of like rebellious teenagers. Restricting tourism only makes them want to travel even more. And also, of course, people are richer so they can afford traveling.
Hello, I like money.
Which is why some cities in countries like Japan and Spain have implemented what is known as a tourist tax. Departing tourists would pay a small amount of money, which is the equivalent of about a few USD, to fund that country's tourism infrastructure. Moving on to method number two, restricting or banning vacation rentals altogether. It is important to note that there is a fundamental difference between a hotel and a short-term vacation rental. Hotels are designed for tourism. They take up space designed for tourism, and they keep the tourists and locals relatively separate. But Airbnb and Vrbo takes up homes that is originally meant for locals, and this forced many out of their homes because landlords preferring renting to tourists. This gives profit to large international companies like Airbnb and Vrbo, causing money generated in the country to leave the country. To counter this, some countries are trying to restrict or ban vacation rentals altogether, nationalizing tourism to keep profits local and allowing the residents to stay in their homes. Of course, there are many more ways to combat over-tourism, but I won't cover them all in this video. Instead, let's wrap this up with some other important questions to consider. For example, many countries, mostly small islands, rely on tourism for their income, and restricting tourism would be really bad for them. So, what should they do? Also, there are locals that are against tourism, but are their sentiment just xenophobia or are they justified? Lastly, think about what if your town gets suddenly overwhelmed with tourists. How would you feel? What would you do? Feel free to share what you think in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video.